That's hilarious.
That's awesome.
All right. Gotta get ready for work.
Bye, honey.
Oh, yeah.
Bye.
I'm gonna start working too.
Later.
It don't matter where you are in your life. You don't have to do it by yourself. It don't matter what you need. Colin can help.
Sweet. Let's do it.
So, what's your name, where you're from, and what do people know you for?
My name is Skuff Micksun. I'm from Cleveland, Ohio, and I'm back. And I'm known for making music.
And just general artistry as well too, right? Don't you do a little bit of painting, a little bit of tattoos?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I guess just a multimedia artist. Yeah. Am I looking at you?
You can look wherever you want.
Alright.
Anytime you want to look in the camera, look in the camera. Anytime you want to make eye contact,
Alright,
you're running the
sweet.
show. You're the star here.
Alright, let's go.
So have you always been into music? Have you always been to art? Is it something that came later in life? When did all of that begin?
Drawing and like painting and art, like physical art like that, probably when I was like 6, I'd say. I used to sit and just draw with my pops, and like I always thought it was just like so cool when I'd see him like draw blueprints and stuff. So I don't know, I started drawing real young, and then music was a little bit later, probably like 12, 13 type thing. Yeah, I bought my guitar when I was 13, so yeah, probably 12 I was like, I'm gonna play music.
And did you start with a guitar, or did you start singing?
Yeah, guitar. Actually, I went with my buddy and I picked up a bass, and like I was like tiny as shit back then. Oh shit. Oh.
You're good.
Alright, cool.
That just means we hit the explicit button when we upload.
Oh shit, yeah. That's 3 times. Shit counter. Shit counter at the top. What were we talking about?
You started playing the guitar. What made you decide to go guitar?
Oh yeah, so me and my buddy went, and I was trying to play bass, and I just I just couldn't do it. I was like tiny, and like my arms were just like, it just felt like awkward. So then I picked up a guitar, and I was like, ooh, this feels nice. And then my buddy bought a bass, and I bought a guitar.
And did you kind of just teach yourself the strings? Did you ever take lessons?
Never took lessons, dude. Like, I don't know if I regret it or not, but like I don't know how to read music at all. I don't know the difference of this note to that note. Like I just play what sounds good to me. So it was like slow learning process. This fucking guy.
Shout out to Yardmaster, always doing a horrible job.
Yeah, dude. You should have him on the podcast. At least he can't just have his blower here, just blow it at the same time. I can't hear you.
So you can't read music. So you
I can't.
All of your chords just kind of come from what sounds like internally, or
Yeah, I mean, I like playing with playing with my guitarist. Shout out Tyler Grant. He does. A lot of people probably don't know that. You know, like Skuff Micksun is also him. We've been making music since we were like 15. So watching it, he doesn't know how to read music either though. But he just has like a really good chord book, you know. He plays sounds that I love. Like every time he plays a chord, it's just, I'm like, that's it, you know, that's a song right there. So like watching other people play and playing with them, you learn. And I don't know, sometimes I think it limits me, but other times I feel like I don't really have like a skeleton to write, you know. It's just whatever.
Gotcha.
Sometimes.
Do you think that people that kind of go the more classical route of reading and writing the actual notes, do that kind of put them in more of a box than just kind of letting it flow?
I don't think necessarily, but I mean, you could let it, you know, but like I think it could open up a whole nother world for me in another sense. I've thought about, doing my research and kind of taking a step back and really understanding like what I'm doing. It's crazy. Because right now it's a free-for-all.
Absolutely. Walk us through that free-for-all. Sounds like you guys kind of just get in the studio or get in a room and kind of start vibing and putting things together, or how does a typical song of yours from beginning to release, how does that process go?
I feel like it's different a lot, like every time. Sometimes, Tyler will send me a little guitar part, just like 30-second riff. And I'm like, oh yeah, let's work on this next time, and we'll start working on that, and then maybe play something else, and we're like, oh, this sounds cooler, like let's do this, and it's, it transforms into like something totally different than what it was than what we intended on working on. You know what I mean? But then there's days where we don't have like an idea or anything. We just kind of like exactly like you put it. We just kind of vibe out, and we'll just be chilling, talking, playing, and when one of us hits that chord, or I'll come up with a line, and sometimes we write guitar first, and then other times we write lyrics first, and then write the guitar to that. So it really is different, like song to song, and you could probably hear it, like if you've ever listened to my stuff, like there's a lot of different feelings going on from this song to that song. Or
just like before we started recording, you were listed on a hip hop blog, and you're like, this isn't even hip hop.
Yeah, for the new single Rest, like it's just not, it's not hip hop at all. It's probably, like I said, one of the least hip hoppy things I've done, but I think it's sweet that it has somewhat of that influence and that like people are open to it. Like I think it's dope. It's just so random to me. I'm like, wow.
Right.
But I think the musical world is just opening up so much with, anyone, like we were talking about, can record in their bedroom. So like you're gonna get anything you can think of is out there, it's wild. It's wild.
And you said that this is more pop, not hip hop. If you had to put a label on your music, on your full catalog as a whole, what would you put it as?
I'd have to just go like alternative or something, man, because I don't know.
Just make up your own genre?
I feel like again, this song could fit into this genre where this song might not. I'd have to just go like a general, just like alternative. Because I do love hip hop, and I do love like making beats and then putting the guitar to the beats. Not everything is always like a live drummer, though we do that a lot. But man, I don't know.
That's a perfect segue into what I was going to ask you next.
Okay.
As somebody that doesn't read music, but you make music and you know how to play instruments, you know how to do things on the computer, how do you feel is different about a live instrument opposed to a drum machine on a typical software, both from making it and from listening to it?
Okay, one more time. I'm processing.
The difference loading.
I'm just like, I go loading. Dead for a minute. Yeah.
But like the difference of, because a lot of older people don't like newer music because it's all synthesized on a computer, opposed to newer people are like, how do you fall on that spectrum?
Man, I don't know. I will always love live instruments, no doubt. Like just an acoustic guitar, just the feeling of it. You could feel it if we were playing, on this couch. You'd feel it,
Right.
Even if you're not like super in tune to it, like it resonates. But I don't know. I love electronics. I use it in a lot of my stuff, so I'd be, wrong to say like that I like live instruments more. But there's something about both.
Just finding a way to blend.
Yeah, there's something about both, and the blend is that's what I like. I like that a lot. I like experimenting with both.
Gotcha.
For sure. I think it would be a lot like I'd be missing out if I wasn't, messing around with synths and playing with the technology we have now.
Absolutely.
So.
And on technology, what are the top 5 apps or programs that you use in your day to just go about your business?
Notes,
number 1.
That's yeah, for sure, just because of lyrics and stuff, like.
You like to write them opposed to doing voice notes better?
Yeah, I mean, it depends. That would be probably my next
Number 2.
app. Yeah, number 2. Not necessarily in order, I guess. But yeah, just to lay down a quick melody, for sure, voice recorder, like in the car or whatever. Like, dude, actually, it's horrible because my voice memos are like on my computer. So like sometimes when it's like randomly playing things, it'll just be like a horrible version of me just like, and like it comes on, and like everyone's hanging out, and I'm like, oh fuck, and like everyone's like, what is this, bro? I'm like, oh, it's just an idea. But yeah, those 2 are clutch. I don't utilize calendar. I wish I could say I do. I should. GarageBand for sure. Same thing though. Just like to lay down a quick like tempo, and like, practice something on the way to somewhere. Instagram. It's huge. Like it's pretty much. I'd say like pretty much where anybody new is finding me is mostly there, which is cool. I like Instagram's platform. And then what is that for?
That's 4. Yeah, one more.
One more. I don't know, man. I play Trials.
What is that? That's a game?
Yeah, I don't use any other apps really, for real. That's about it. Oh, YouTube. My YouTube analytics.
Gotcha.
Definitely. Which I'm trying to get better at because I feel like doing independent stuff, like you pretty much have to.
Right.
There's no way around it. So I got to get better at that whole thing, marketing and all the fun shit.
That is fun shit.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's fun when you know it. Like,
See, but I kind of look at marketing in the same way that you look at music, where
right.
I went to Lakeland and I did the whole business school just because my parents said you need a degree, like you gotta go to school. But like what you learn in a marketing class is already outdated. You're not going to go read a book and it's not going to be practical. It's just a trial and error, and marketing is just a really fancy way to say reputation. Same as brand, it just means reputation. So it's one of those where a lot of people kind of say, oh, I don't know how to market, I don't know how to do it. It's just figuring out how to present yourself on a format, on a platform that's native to that platform. Like you were saying, you're trying to get more into YouTube, you really like Instagram. I think I'm right about there with you. I don't use Facebook nearly as much as I used to, and I hate Twitter.
No, not nearly.
I've always hated Twitter. Like, it's just a chaos field. I don't like it.
Twitter, I think, Twitter for me is just unhealthy. Maybe it's the people that I ended up following when I made a Twitter when I was 16. Like I could go and clear out, but I think it's pretty toxic. I think certain people use it really well, but like for me, I don't want to just tweet something, one night and be like, oh, I don't even feel that way anymore. And you know what I mean? It's just like, I don't know. Plus, like Instagram, I feel like I put personality into my stories and stuff. Like it sounds stupid, but it's like a cool way to relate to people that you're not around.
Absolutely.
Like I've met tons of cool artists and musicians and chefs and like just people that love what they do and like
Absolutely.
Link on that, just like even you.
Right.
Instagram. So it's weird.
With Instagram, I don't know if you've noticed this, but it's something that everybody that I talk to as a free marketing tip.
Mm-hmm.
Instagram started as a photo platform. Photos don't do anything on Instagram anymore. I don't know if you've noticed that in your own analytics on that, but you could post a photo or you could post a 5-second video of just the still photo, and this will get at least twice as many views every time.
Whoa, that's weird.
Because
it's
one of
never
the ways
really
just
noticed
through
that.
the algorithm, just the video is quicker to pop up in your feed, and people are a lot quicker, as long as they have data enabled. But that's something that I've been kind of toying with, and it's amazing that
That's
it's
cool.
almost every time is double
That's a
the
good
amount
tip.
of engagement. So keep that one in mind. If you're doing an album cover, just keep the album cover with 15 seconds of the song or something like that, opposed of just the album art.
Yeah.
And then giving a little bit of sound and
Yeah.
everything like that makes a huge difference.
That's really cool. Good tip. Thank you.
So how long have you been on Instagram?
Oh shit, I don't even know. Maybe like 4 years, but I like made a bunch of different ones. It was like Skuff, and then it was I'm Skuff, and then I changed my name to Skuff Micksun, so it was Skuff Micksun, and then I changed it to Skuff Micksun Art, which is what it is now. So like,
Were you making different profiles every time, or did you just change the handle?
yeah, I made different profiles, deleted it because I was like, oh, this one's just for my art, and then this one's just for this, and I was like, this is so stupid,
But your life is art, so you know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's kind of, I was like, people are just gonna have to accept that I'm just gonna put it all right here.
Right.
Like, everything's here. I'm not gonna make a different place for everything. It's too much.
Yeah, you
Like,
put
I
way too
love
much
social
in it.
media for a lot of reasons, but it's too much. I'm not trying to be
Right.
like Black Mirror with it. It freaks me out.
Do you see any downside to social media? You kind of touched on a few of them throughout there, but if you had to weigh the best thing about social media and the worst thing either for you or society, where would you put those?
I mean, yeah, I think I've even been affected where I'm like, dude, I need to like not have my phone on, and that kind of like technology free day or weekend, like we literally just rented a cabin in the woods, and I was just like, phone's gone, and like I just needed to refresh. I don't know, I mean, I think it makes dating life a little weird. I think it could be great as well, but I think it makes like meeting people in public, having conversations, like people are very weird when you talk to them. Like, I'm weird, but like I'm not saying that in a bad way. It's just like people aren't as comfortable having conversations like with random people. But at the same time, you could easily DM someone with
Just kind of hide behind the screen.
Yeah, totally. So I think it's just making as always, there's going to be a divide. The people that use it right are going to, I don't know what you'd say, flourish in the technology, and the people that use it wrong will just destroy themselves over technology. So it's pretty sci-fi. It feels very sci-fi, but it is real.
It's definitely real. I listen to a lot and watch a lot of Gary Vaynerchuk stuff. Do you ever watch stuff?
Yeah.
I love his stance on that one, where he's like...
That's so weird. On the way here, I was going to ask you if you were a fan of him.
Yeah, the main two podcasts I listen to are either Gary Vee and Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan to me is like the white man's Oprah. Like, dude,
Joe Rogan, he's
got the life, like he's figured out fucking life, and he's making like $100 million a year to have a podcast with his buddies.
Yeah, he seems like he is having a great time. I'm all for it. I think Joe Rogan's great.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think he's super dope.
But Gary Vee has a thing about social media is it doesn't change people, it just exposes who they really are. Where we think a lot of people are a lot crazier than they used to be. No, you just see into everybody's life now.
Right.
And it's the same crazy. They're just showing it off. Or if you're kind of posting, if you're kind of posting like my best life shit all the time, like you're probably not that actual happy.
That's That's interesting. That's interesting. Yeah. I'll be thinking about that later. Really fucked me up with that one.
There it is. So let's take it a little bit back then, make it a little bit more comfortable for you since we just blew your mind. What platforms is your music on? Where can people find and listen to more of your stuff?
I want to say everywhere. I think it's everywhere. I've done my best to put it everywhere. Spotify, SoundCloud, Tidal, Google Play, iTunes, all that. Did I say SoundCloud? Yeah.
You did.
I think I even have a Bandcamp. It's probably got old stuff. But yeah, I think everywhere, man. That's like, I try to be good about that because not everyone uses a Spotify. So like I gotta put it everywhere if I want to reach people, and so yes, if you search Skuff Micksun on anything, it better come up, and if not, tell me, I'll fix it.
Are you on Audio Mac?
I do believe, yes.
I just learned about that one.
Because like I go through a distribution company, so like they put it
everywhere.
everywhere for me, so it's like I don't have to upload separately to everything. I
Gotcha.
still have to upload to like probably like 7 separate platforms, but like most of it goes kind of all at once.
Does that cost?
My bad, yeah.
Does that cost you money to be part of the distribution?
Yeah,
thing?
but it's like, dude, it's so worth it, and mine is a one-time fee, and it's awesome, dude. And
Gotcha.
like, there are other things, upgrades that you can do, other packages, you know, and the more I think you get into it, like the more you'll need those things. But yeah, I recommend any artist to represent yourself, and yeah, definitely get your stuff everywhere for sure.
Is there any particular platform that you as an artist, you make more money off of, or you know, do they have better royalties for artists, or is everybody about the same across the board?
Well, I don't really make much, I can tell you that. But I would say most of what I get comes from either shows or Spotify.
Gotcha.
Yeah, Spotify's probably, but I think that's just because I have the most, like, traction there at times, like, especially new releases, I'll get, like, a big wave and then hope people come back, obviously.
Right.
But yeah, I don't think Spotify, like, pays incredibly great, but I love it. I think it's a great platform, and if it was about the money, I'd have quit a long time ago.
Absolutely. As a podcaster, I really like the features that Spotify has opposed to any of the other ones. Like the ability to
artist friendly, man.
Like to be able to share into somebody's Instagram story. Why every single audio thing doesn't replicate that feature? Like iTunes,
it's amazing.
Especially iTunes. Think of everything that's on iTunes. As long as you're listening to iTunes, if all you have to do is like boom, share, everything like that. Like for the podcast, it's great. I put up the thing and it's right there. Click the link. Throw a little arrow at them.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, the easier you make it, the more chance someone's gonna get bored and be like, you know, I've skipped this dude's music a million. I've done it. I'm guilty of it. Like I've seen that one dude's post and I'm just like, just you know, gone through it, getting sucked into that life, and then one night, you know, I'm just like, check it out, man. I've seen it a bunch, you know.
Right.
And I check it out and I'm like, oh shit, that's pretty cool. I can only hope people do that.
Luckily for you, that's actually, like, there's science behind that. I want to say it's, if you see something 50 times, I think it is, you're guaranteed to click it.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's weird. It's same too, like,
I believe it 100%.
It also goes back to, like, sales. One of the few things I remember actually of business school was, like, the first time you go call on somebody, you're pretty much not likely to make a sale. Second time, you're chipping away little by little. They're seeing you. They're recognizing your face.
This guy's determined.
Then eventually, they're going to be like, dude, you've been here 7 times in 7 weeks.
Right.
Come on in, let's have a meeting. What is it that you're really doing? To where the guy that just comes once and keeps going, and, you know, it didn't work, I'm just going to keep moving. The success rate there, it's
50 times. That's insane.
So, I mean, think about that's 50 times, but if you were, do you do any, sponsored ads on any of the social media you do?
Yeah, I have. I've done Instagram and I did a couple Facebook, but I don't know how worth it any of it is.
Right.
You know, like obviously people resharing it, that's where it's at.
Absolutely.
Like if every single person that heard it or, you know, that followed you reposted your stuff, I mean, you'd be reaching triple, quadruple the amount of people, which is just great.
Yeah, and every time you share it too, like you're naturally building up higher in the rankings for like the Explore feature. Like, if 18 people just shared the new song, maybe more people want to see it, so they know to put it up higher.
Right. Yeah.
But within that question that I was asking for, have you done the sponsored ads? That's kind of your way to guarantee your way into that 30, 40, 50 times you see it. Where if you just, instead of going a high budget campaign, which a lot of people screw up and do, if you go like a $5 a day type thing, you know, a pack of smokes or whatever, like make that equation.
Right.
To then every day in the same vicinity, like you said, you make more money doing shows, opposed to people that just blast it and try to get it everywhere. If you just focus the shit out of Lake County, or wherever it is that you want to perform at, and then
Right.
naturally, what's that, 5 a day? That's 35 a week. Think about how feasible that is for so many people. To then you're that household name when somebody's like,
it can't be a bad thing to promote it.
Yeah, but
it's
by playing with that, like doing that local, thinking local instead of like the national, got to blow it up, everybody's got to hear it. Then that's how, like you said, if every time you're seeing it, you're like, oh, I got to check this guy out now.
Yeah, and especially like hometown people. Cleveland is awesome right now. Like, so many good musicians, bands, acts, dance, like dancers. Dude, Cleveland is popping right now. So people should, like, for real, they should check people out around here and like start supporting the people in your hometown first. You know, I think any artist would want their hometown behind them in a sense, for the most part. Why wouldn't you? You know.
And speaking of more people should put on the local artists, give me 5 people that are from the Cleveland area that, let's go musically, that people should know.
Oh man. Alright, don't get mad at me for anyone that I don't mention. There's a lot of people. You talked to one of them for sure. I think Nuke Franklin is great in Cleveland, along with Kip Stone. Honestly, Ty C, the producer of my past 2 releases, is like one of the most talented musicians I know and producers. Like, he plays everything. He's incredible. So Ty C made it on Instagram. He's awesome. Let's see, 2 more. God, I feel like I have to pick between so many people. Like, I know tons of them. Adi Ray, great producer, engineer, artist. I'm shouting out friends, hardcore.
That's where you gotta go.
Yeah, I mean, but I truly do love, like, certain friends' stuff. I'm just like, it has nothing to do with the fact that they're my friend. I'm like, this is great music. So it just makes me love you more, you know? The last one I would have to say would be, dude, my buddy Bear Trap makes awesome, like, acoustic, just heart-tugger music. They're a great songwriter. And I'm working with him hopefully real soon. We're trying to get his EP going and stuff, so he's like a new artist that's been doing it for a long time, and like now he's ready to go. So
nice.
Yeah, he's one to follow for sure. I don't know, man. So many good artists around here.
That's a good problem to have if you have that hard of a time getting it
yeah,
down to 5.
and
right?
those are like those are just like musicians I was thinking about. I mean, literally, like, there's just so many good, cool people around here.
Nice. All right, so we're back, and we had a quick commercial break. That's the beautiful thing about podcasts. We have an interruption. You learn how to. You're like, all right, we'll put the ad in.
I didn't even have to hear the commercials, so that was great.
And you don't have to hear the commercial either on the thing. You could always hit the fast forward. It's always great.
Oh, that's cool, actually.
But what I was getting ready to say before while we headed off was, I've noticed with the podcast, and I'm sure you have with your music, how the first one is rough as fuck. I hear myself saying like all those things. The recording, the audio isn't as good, and then episode 5 comes, and you're like, oh, I figured out how to not say hum after every question.
Yeah.
Episode 10 comes, I figured out how to properly place the music and make it sound right through it, and then by episode 20, by the time yours comes out, you're somewhere around 30, I think.
Nice. Okay.
That's all this year. So like, I've been on podcast game.
Yeah, I mean, I think something like that, you can definitely, like, you can go to, like you said, episode 1, play it, and be like, wow, I've come a long way.
Right.
You know, like,
and same too, like, as somebody, if you start listening to episode 30 and you keep working your way down the list, you're like, wow, he really has come a long way. Like, I see what he was trying to do here, and he figured out and switched it. Or like with your music, you're like, oh, he was trying to do this with something, and then he switched this whole process. Or like, it's nice to, with an artist or with any type of medium, to kind of be able to follow that journey, you know?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think that's the coolest part about recording and like recording your music, recording your video, whatever you're doing. Like, it's sweet to look back on that stuff. It's crazy. You kind of like, because it all happens so slow, you know, or it feels slow. It feels fast, actually.
Right.
But, like, it is slow, you know, it's slow progression, and I think people don't normally realize, like, you know, I've been doing this for 10 years plus, like,
Right.
so it's crazy to look back at it, you know, a live show from 2012 even, you're like, oh my god, look at me go. You're just like, it's cringy, but it's awesome because you're like, I'm getting better. And I think it's important to like see that. You have to see that you're doing, you know,
Right.
getting somewhere.
And I think without getting somewhere, like you said earlier, you would have quit already. Like if you were just doing this for the money and you didn't see money, you would quit. But by being able to see your art grow and see your progression of, I was writing songs about my teenage breakup, and now I'm writing songs about like living
My
life.
adult breakup now.
Yeah, still don't have a girlfriend. Damn, why do bitches hate me? I don't even know.
I must really suck, dude. No, definitely though. I mean, and like the more I make, the more important it becomes, you know, quality and just like, I gotta believe in what I'm saying and you know, stuff like that. It's like, with the more I make, the more I need it to be a certain way. It makes you kind of crazy, but it's like, you know what you want.
You know what you want, and you know that
And you can do it nowadays.
Yeah.
So it's like,
and you can teach
gotta
yourself.
find a
You
way.
can teach yourself everything nowadays, whether it's teaching
for
yourself
sure.
computer
School
or
of YouTube, man.
School of YouTube. I love the School of YouTube. I
It's-
started a whole
it-
landscaping company off the School of YouTube.
Really?
Dude,
You learned everything off YouTube for
I
it?
worked for a guy for
That's crazy.
like 2 weeks, maybe a month, and realized what he was charging for shit. And I was like, all I gotta do is get the same
You're
type
like,
of
wait,
equipment
I
in a
can-
truck,
Right.
and I can figure this out. And you know,
Right.
before you went to a place, you go research on YouTube.
That's
how,
crazy,
How
yeah.
do I do this? And you're like, all right, I do that. Or same too, like for when my equipment breaks. I got so sick of waiting for, you know,
Yeah. My
to
roommate's
fix it.
really good at that type of thing. Like, his car goes out, he types in the problem, he's like,
Right.
I'm gonna try to fix it. I'm like, damn, I would never.
See,
I would
the way I
fuck
look
my
at especially
car
my
up,
car,
dude.
like I don't touch my Kia because like it's all confined, but like I have a big Dodge Ram truck which everything falls off of it. So it's
Right.
one of those, like I could actually crawl under it or get into the engine type thing.
Right,
You
right.
figure at $100 an hour for a mechanic, if I could
Easy.
figure this out in a weekend even,
Yeah.
like I would
Worth it.
save myself.
Then you know
and-
forever,
yeah.
too. It's like forever knowledge.
Yeah, you hear that
Like-
noise again, you're like, oh, that's the back panel of
Right.
the muffler. You know, you're like, all right, I got this.
Like, how many people even know, do you know how to change a tire? Do you know how to change a tire? You do.
if you don't,
But
then you
if
go
you
to
don't,
YouTube. How do you change a
Go-
tire?
Dude, watch it, because you're gonna have to know one day. You've
Yeah.
been lucky so far, but one day you're gonna be like, shit, I don't even know how to do this.
You know, that's a really
Just
good
out
idea.
there in the
Just-
desert.
Just take one day and just go like look up all the remedial human things to do on the
Dude.
internet.
Dude,
It's a lost art, like you said.
we should just make like essential survival video. Just like, this is how you do this. I feel like people would watch. I think it's a great little side thing for you.
There you go. Have
I
to,
give it
have
to
to
you.
work on
That's
that.
my idea for free to you.
Freely, I have to put it to work. So let's move a little bit away from music real quick.
Sure.
You do tattooing for people, right? You're a
I
tattoo
do.
artist.
Yeah, I do.
What is that like? Like you said, kind of music and other art is kind of an evolving process. That one you got to get it right on the first time because it's
Yeah.
there forever. Like, what was that like the first couple of times, or you know, as you got the
Dude,
comfort
yeah.
learning that skill?
That's a great question. Cool. All right. Cool. Yeah, the first time was crazy, dude. It was like my neighbor, literally, he was just like, you know, kind of nuts. And he was just like, one day he's like, hey, you could draw, right? And I was like, yeah. He goes, you want to do this tattoo on me? And I was like, no. I was like, dude, I didn't like have no idea what I'm doing. He's like, I know, it's cool. I was like, I don't know. I was scared, man. I did not want to do it really. Like, I was pretty not about it. But I always wanted tattoos. Like, as a kid, you know, I was like, punk rock, fuck yeah. So, like, I had an interest in them, but I never thought I would do them. And yeah, I tattooed this kid, like, on my mom's patio. Just like, he knew I didn't know what I was doing, and I tried it out, and like, it actually looked pretty good. And I was like, shit, that was kind of cool. And from there, literally, it was like, my buddy, shout out Billy Matsumoto, check him out, super talented dude. But yeah, he invested in my machine and everything because like I didn't have the money at the time, and he was like, dude, I think you should tattoo, and like fronted me the money for it. And yeah, I've been tattooing ever since, like 9 years almost. I took like a good 2-year break, and then started getting more into it. But did that answer your question, Ruben?
Pretty good.
Okay, cool.
Have you ever done one where you were like, uh-oh?
I may have had like a moment, not really that I remember, like I remember I did tattoo like a super elderly vet, and he got like a vet tattoo, something, I can't remember exactly, it was like a dagger or something, but it was like a patch or an emblem, you know, so it was really important to him, and it was awesome. I was like honored to do it, but his skin was just so
Frail.
Yeah, it was so dry and like just wrinkly and thin, and like it just, I was like, this is gonna be rough to get through, you know. I knew it would be okay, but that was probably the one time I was like, oh man, stretching the skin. I'm like, I think I bit off more than I could chew here. But yeah, it turned out good. Plus he could handle the pain. He was a pretty hardcore dude, so like I was like, hey, I'm gonna have to really get in here because your skin's old and wrinkly. And he's like, I know.
Yeah, so is that something that you kind of taught yourself, the different techniques through YouTube videos, or just trial and error?
At first it was definitely YouTube, yeah. At first it was definitely YouTube, and I tattooed like all my thighs and like half of my left leg. Before I tattooed like many people. I had a couple friends that were like, oh dude, go for it. So they still have those. Funny to look back on as well. You're like, oh, glad I got better at those. But
it's a worry that you pass out if you tattoo yourself, isn't it? I had a buddy that kind of started to get into it, and he said it was a completely different experience tattooing himself opposed to like other people.
Oh, like I feel like tattooing myself is harder than if you were to tattoo me, like, or if I'm getting tattooed. That's one thing. But tattooing myself, it just like hurts more. I'm just like, I don't know, maybe it's just psychologically like you have to put it down, you know, where like usually the artist is just going and you're just at his pace. Like whenever he puts it down, that's when you're in pain. So like, I don't know, it's just like that, like, okay, you know, and you're like, all right, let's go. I think it definitely does, it's a totally different experience. I think you would know if you were gonna pass out before it got to that point. Like if I started feeling that way, I would just be like, I'm done.
I think it's also kind of like your brain is telling yourself, why the fuck are we stabbing ourselves? You
For
know,
sure.
Kind of like your brain's trying to shut it down, even though your brain's also trying to be like, no, we want it to look like
Yeah.
this.
No, you're absolutely right, dude. Like I've had things turn out on my leg where I'm like, oh, it's so light. Like I was just going light because I didn't want more pain. I was like, this hurts good enough. I'll stay here. But yeah, it is a super weird thing. I don't know. But tattooing yourself's raw. Do it. Like for sure.
and as somebody that was looking
Just be clean.
hygiene
Like
and sterile is
sterilize
super
everything.
important.
Like if you're gonna do it, like be smart. Don't be dumb.
So other than hygiene and sterilization, if somebody wanted to get a tattoo, as somebody that has tattoos and gives tattoos, what's your piece of recommendation before you go and get it done? Do you have any like words of wisdoms for the newbies?
Man, yeah, I guess make sure you want it. And yeah, just get in a good headspace, man. Enjoy it. It's gonna hurt. Don't ask if it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt. You know, like it really is gonna hurt, but it'll be cool. It'll be great. It's a totally cool feeling. It kind of sucks. It's kind of awesome. You know, that's what makes it a whole experience. It's like jumping out of a plane or something. Like you're like super scared, you do it, and you're like, that was insane. You know, but tattoos, you have it forever, so it's worth it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So,
Do it.
Just be like Nike and just do it.
Just do it. If you want a tattoo, do it.
Or just call you and have you do it, right?
I'll do it, yeah. Actually, don't call me right now. My books are closed.
Books are closed. Can't even get one even if you want. Limited edition's over.
Not right now. I got a list.
Nice. And how I always end all the interviews, I gave you the heads up when we were out on the porch.
Yeah.
But you get 60 seconds to look dead at the camera and leave the listeners, leave the viewers with any message that you want. Either direct them to your stuff, give them some ideas, test out a new song, whatever you want to do.
All right.
Time starts whenever you're ready.
Time starts when I start.
When you start, it starts.
All right. This is okay.
The toughest question is the open question.
It's true. It's like,
Hey Kyle, before you edit this, remember to make a meme out of that. The toughest question is the open question. That shit'll do good.
Yeah, definitely. No, like, it's so weird because, like, even just being comfortable and chilling and having a conversation, like, it's like, you know, at the start of every show, at the start of every interview or something, like, I still always get nervous. It's so weird. Like, I'm always like, oh, okay, like, how's this gonna go? Like you said, you warm up though quick. All right, so 60 seconds starts now. I'm Skuff Micksun. Try to be a decent human being. Everyone's going through shit. Be there for your friends. Make music. Get tattoos. Fuck shit up politely. Like, don't fuck anyone else's shit up. Have fun, live your life, do what you want. Quit your job if it sucks, find a new one. Shit, man. All the things that I wish I knew 10 years ago, you know? Yeah, create every day. Wow.
I don't know why. I had that on the front of my head and I waited till the
Interesting,
end of it.
Damn, yeah. I don't think anyone's ever like asked that for some reason, which I feel like. Yeah. So Skuff, my last name is Skuffka. I had a teacher that used to call me Scuffy, which I hated, dude. And then like, you know, other people started calling me that, and I was like, no, don't do that. And then I pretty much cut the Y off, and I was like, it's not Scuffy, it's Skuff. And I, you know, just like, it was better than Scuffy. So then, yeah, like when I started making solo music, I started going by Skuff, and then actually my pops passed away in 2009, and his name was Mick. So I used to like always do this like karate thing to him, where I would like karate chop him in the throat or something, you know, like a little asshole kid, and I would be like, I'm Skuff Micksun, and like, you know, fucking strike the classic pose. And yeah, I don't know, I just like, Skuff wasn't fitting what I was doing. I just didn't feel like, I didn't like it, you know. And then Skuff Micksun just kind of hit me one day. I was like, oh yeah, that's what it needs to be. And then it just felt right. Nice. And I feel like it literally, that's when I became like, I leveled up as a musician. I was like, I know what I sound like. I know, you know, my voice isn't incredible, but I'm gonna use it however I can. You know, I'm not the best guitar player, but I'm gonna play it as hard as I can, you know? So, yeah, that's a good question, man.
Absolutely, I'm glad.
I feel like no one knows that, probably.
They will
unless like, they're close friends, yeah.
Now they gotta know.
Now you know.
Awesome.
It don't matter where you are in your life. You don't have to do it by yourself.